Hi, welcome to the Wisdom of Your Soul. I'm Janice Mary, your host, and I'm so glad you're back with us. I have so many interesting things to talk about today. One being, I just started this amazing book that I want to share with you, and maybe you might want to read it. It's called Life in the Unseen World by Anthony Borgia, and it's just such an amazing book so far. What I've read, I really resonate with. And I love reading because, so many people have found out so many wonderful things that if you tried to discover on your own, could take years and years. So people that have studied and done amazing things that come before us, it has such value to me anyway. So reading is one of my passions. So in this book, it's just such a fascinating book. It's about this medium who actually channeled a spirit, which is when you channel a spirit means, you connect to the spirit and you talk to the spirit. And he wrote a book, based on what the spirit was telling him. And so interesting because he actually had known the spirit in life. So it makes sense why he could even connect to the spirit so easily. And the spirit that he connects to was a priest. And he met him when he was young. And I think, if I remember correctly, he died when this medium was around the age of 13. And this priest was very well known, and he wrote a lot of books. And, he did his best to try to help people and what he thought and how he thought to help people. But interestingly enough, he, as a priest, was having a lot of psychic and spiritual experiences, which, in the church, they don't really believe in that kind of thing, mediumship and, connecting to spirits. And some religions don't believe in that. So I guess the religion he was in doesn't believe in that. So he had such a conflict within him. And he suppressed a lot of his psychic abilities and didn't really talk about them. So when this medium here channeled his spirit and was talking to him, he felt very, badly about misleading people, not realizing he was misleading people, but actually misleading people through some of his works and some of his books. So this book is kind of a correction to what he professed here on earth in his earthly life to try to help us understand what happens in the afterlife. So it's fascinating. It's a fascinating book. And a lot of people would be like, well, how do you know this book is true? It's written by a medium. You can't really back it up. And so as always, and what I try to tell people, when something resonates with you, usually there's some truth to it for you. And will help you on your journey. So is it a fact? Is every single word a fact? I don't know. But the things that resonate with me really resonate with me very strongly. So it's so interesting. So when I connect into the soul energy, and when you do too, you would feel this, that the more you connect into the soul energy, the more you have the ability to connect to people that have passed in the other world, in the unseen world. And you can connect to, your guides and angels, and it's a fascinating experience. So a lot of the descriptions that he talks about, I feel that I've experienced through connecting. And, being a psychotherapist, I would never think in a million years that I would be able to feel people that have passed on. And I was extremely skeptical about mediumship. Although I was really fascinated with it, I was very skeptical of it because I could see that a lot of times it didn't seem 100% accurate. When I would watch John Edward or anybody else, it seemed like, maybe like 95% accurate. And so my thought was, well, if they're really connecting to people in spirit, it would be 100% accurate. But I had no idea. I had no idea how difficult it is to connect to the spirit world. Not because they're not there and not because it doesn't exist, but because their vibration, their frequency in the spirit world, when you don't have a body, is so, so high. They resonate on such a high level. And we here on earth resonate on a lower level, which says a lot for us, if you think about that. But so what has to happen when a medium connects to the spirit world, a medium has to actually raise their vibration to meet the spirit, and the spirit actually has to lower their vibration. So it kind of comes like that, which I think is fascinating. And so when a medium connects, that connection is based on how high the medium can raise their vibration and how low the spirit can lower theirs. So I know a lot of people will go and they said, oh, this medium is a fake because she or he was able to give half but not everything, and she got a lot wrong. And I used to feel the same way. But connecting and feeling into the spirit world and bringing messages to people, I can certainly understand the difficulty in it and why it's not 100%, and how difficult of a job it really is. And some mediums are just really, really good, and they're so gifted, and it comes very naturally to lift their vibration. So it's easier for them to get really good messages. So that's why when we see mediums that seem to be right on all the time, they have an ability to really raise their vibration into that spirit world. So when you connect into your soul energy, when you connect into your spirit energy, you'll be able to do that too. Whether or not you want to become a medium, you don't have to do that. A lot of people feel frightened to do that. But you would have, if you have a desire, you have an ability to do it, and you certainly can do it. But that's a whole other subject. So getting back to this book, when I read it, it really resonates with me, because when I connect into the spirit world, or when I connect into my soul energy, I can feel the truth of what he's saying. And most of the things that I feel when I connect into the spiritual energy is this unconditional love and this unconditional support. And so far, I'll let you know if it changes, when he describes us passing on into the spirit world, we're guided, we're supported, we're not taken to a place where we're judged. Nothing bad happens to us. People are treated and helped according to what they need, and they're also helped if they have a certain mindset about things. The spirit world doesn't push them out of that mindset, but is very patient and tries to help people expand their mindset. So that's always the message I feel when I'm working with clients and I connect into the spirit world. What they tell me all the time is it's okay where they are at. You don't have to get them to function on a different level. You don't have to get them to see anything. What you do have to give them is support and guidance and your love. So that's very different than the ego, which is like, as a therapist, you have to fix this person. And you have to give them guidance that's going to make them feel better. It's very, it's very driven in a different way. Where when you're in the soul energy, it's softer. It's just sit, just listen. It's okay. You have plenty of time. You don't have to worry about it. So that's much, much more different than what we're taught through the ego and through the ego guidance. So that just there, to me, is very different. So in the book, they talk a lot about how you're treated, and the way you're treated when you move into spirit is very similar to the messages I get and how I should work with people and how I should be with myself. That I should be more unconditional with myself, and I should be compassionate towards myself. And no matter what mistakes I make, and no matter what happens in my life, that I deserve love and compassion. And that is exactly what he describes in the spirit world. So the book totally resonates with me. I know that a lot of people feel like, well, how can you be sure you're connecting to the spirit world? What if you're connecting to something bad? And I understand the fear and the skepticism, because honestly, I had the same exact thing. But if that was true, if we were connecting to something that was bad for us or misguiding us, why would it be nothing but unconditional love and support? That would make no sense. If I was connecting to something that was telling me I should do certain things or be a certain way, or that I had to convert people, I had to make people see certain things, then I would be a little concerned. Then I would be a little doubtful of what I was connecting to. So when you're really truly in your spirit, when you're really truly in your soul and you're connecting to the spirit world, all you feel is what you're given there, which is love, unconditional love and support and compassion. So that to me says, well, whatever I'm connecting to, whatever you want to believe it is, it's a beautiful place. And why wouldn't we want to connect to that is the question. So that is always my question to my clients. Why do you want to feel this way about yourself? Why do you want to see yourself this way? The beliefs we hold about ourselves and our lives and kind of our perspective on our life and how we've summed things up really makes a big impact on our internal state and how we're living today. So if you've had a lot of experiences that were difficult and you kind of sum it up by saying, well, because I had all these experiences, there's something wrong with me, or I'm defective, or I wasn't good enough, then you're living in an internal state that is really very, very harsh and very, very painful. And every time something happens to support those beliefs, you're going to feel that pain. So, my job has been with myself and my clients to really encourage people to challenge. Why would I want to continue to look at my life this way? And why would I want to continue to feel this way or think this way about myself? So, what I hear in the spirit world all the time is that, everything that you do is perfect and you can't do anything really wrong. And when you're thinking good thoughts about yourself, then you put yourself in a vibration and an energy for good things to happen to you. And, that's what we call here the law of attraction. So I've always said the law of attraction is a spiritual law, and it is a spiritual law because even this book talks about it. I felt when I was connecting to the spirit world that what they were talking about is in spirit, the law of attraction happens instantly. So when you're in spirit and you think about something, you can create it. So the spirit world will teach you when you go back that whatever you want, all you have to do is think about it and you can have it. So that's the same thing here, the law of attraction. But it is really hard for us to practice because our vibrations are not quite as high as it is in the spirit world. So in the spirit world, the manifestations happen instantly. You think about something and it's instantly there. It's like magic, it's like being bewitched, that show Bewitched, and she just, twinkle her nose and she would think of something and get whatever she wanted. The spiritual world would always use that example for me when they were trying to tell me what it's like there. So in this book, they talk about that. And so that's very validating for me, that they're talking in the same way that I've been taught. And so I would like to, I'm just sharing that with you because I just feel that's just so important for us to know that in the spirit, first of all, we don't die. And second of all, in the spirit world, it is such a fascinating, amazing place. And so when we all transition, we're all going to be very pleased to find that out. But here, since we're still here, we want to make the life that we have here much more enjoyable. And we don't have to be living in such internal pain that most of us are. So that's really where my work comes in, is trying to help people out of that pain. So again, it's getting back to those perspectives. So if you want to do law of attraction, you want to manifest and you want to create, but you're hard on yourself or you're hard on other people, well, you know that your vibration is going to be kind of low Because when you're in negativity, when you're in those lower feelings, you even feel it. When people are depressed, they feel heavy. So they even say it. They'll come into my office and say, I just feel so heavy. When I'm depressed, I just feel like I weigh more than I do when I'm not depressed. When I'm happy, I feel light and I feel like I can run and have fun and do all that kind of stuff. So, it really does have a big effect on us. So if you just look at it that way, higher feelings, good feelings make you feel lighter, and heavier feelings, sad feelings and bad feelings make us feel very, very heavy. And it's not to say that we shouldn't have them. It's just that we shouldn't cause ourselves to suffer so much. We don't really need to suffer as much as we suffer. So in the book they were talking about, and I thought this was such a great way to put it, when you're in spirit, you use the mind, but you use the mind because manifestations are so quick. You catch on pretty quickly that whatever you think about, you can create. So you learn to control it, and the spirit world teaches you to control it very quickly, because you don't want to be thinking, or you don't want to have your thoughts all out of control, because that could have an effect. So that's really important in the spirit world, and it's really important for us here too.